Emma wandered through the narrow aisles of an old antique shop, the smell of aged wood and dust filling the air. She had no intention of buying anything but loved discovering hidden treasures among forgotten relics. In a dimly lit corner, a tall, ornate mirror caught her eye. Its frame was intricately carved with swirling patterns that seemed to shift as she looked at them. The glass was cloudy but reflected her outline faintly. "How much for the mirror?" Emma asked the shopkeeper, an elderly woman with piercing blue eyes. The woman hesitated. "It's not for everyone," she said cryptically. "This mirror shows more than just your reflection. It reveals what you've forgotten." Emma laughed nervously. "Forgotten? Like my childhood dreams?" "Something like that," the shopkeeper said with a knowing smile. Curiosity got the better of her, and Emma bought the mirror, unaware of the mysteries it would soon reveal. That evening, Emma set the mirror up in her apartment, placing it in her bedroom. As she stood before it, she noticed the glass beginning to clear, as though fog was lifting. She leaned closer, expecting to see her reflection, but instead, an unfamiliar scene appeared, a meadow she didn't recognize, filled with wildflowers and sunlight. "What is this?" Emma murmured, reaching out to touch the glass. The image rippled like water, and for a moment, she felt herself being pulled forward. Her surroundings blurred, and when she opened her eyes, she was standing in the meadow. "This can't be real," she whispered, turning in a circle to take it all in. The air smelled of fresh grass, and the warmth of the sun felt impossibly real. But in the distance, a shadow moved, watching her. Emma hesitated before approaching the shadowy figure. As she drew closer, it took the shape of a man, his face obscured by the light. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice trembling. The man stepped forward, his features coming into focus. He looked vaguely familiar, but Emma couldn't place him. "I'm someone you used to know," he said. "What do you mean?" Emma asked, her confusion growing. The man gestured toward the meadow around them. "This place, this moment, it's a memory you've forgotten. And I'm part of it." Emma stared at him, her heart pounding. "Why am I here?" "Because the mirror chose you," the man said. "And it's time to remember." The man led Emma through the meadow, pointing out places that seemed oddly familiar. They reached a small wooden bridge over a stream, and Emma felt a sudden wave of déjà vu. "This is where we used to meet," the man said, "before everything changed." Emma's head spun. "I don't understand. Why can't I remember you?" "Because some memories are buried too deep," he replied. "But the mirror is helping you find them again." As they crossed the bridge, Emma saw another figure in the distance, a young girl running through the meadow, laughing. "That's me," Emma realized, her voice breaking. "But why does this feel so real?" Before the man could answer, the scene began to flicker, like an old film strip running out of focus. The meadow dissolved into darkness, and Emma found herself back in her bedroom, standing in front of the mirror. Her reflection stared back at her, but the glass was cracked, a jagged line running through its center. "What's happening?" Emma whispered, touching the mirror. The man's voice echoed faintly through the room. "You've only just begun. There's more to uncover." Emma stepped back, her mind racing. The mirror wasn't just showing her memories, it was pulling her into them. But why? She knew one thing for certain. She had to go back. Determined to uncover the truth, Emma stood before the mirror once again, her hands trembling slightly. She had to understand what was happening. "Show me more," she whispered, her voice barely above a breath. The cracks in the glass shimmered, and slowly another scene began to form. This time, it was different. The setting was a lake, a place she recognized instantly. It was the lake near her grandparents' house, a place she hadn't visited in years. As the image solidified, Emma felt the familiar pull again. She closed her eyes, and when she opened them, she found herself standing at the edge of the very same lake. The air was cool, and the sound of birds singing filled the quiet space. The trees around the lake swayed gently in the wind. For a moment, Emma thought she had stepped back in time. She felt the warmth of childhood memories wash over her. But there was something unsettling about the scene, something not quite right. Emma walked closer to the water, her feet crunching on the gravel path. The lake sparkled in the sunlight, and the distant sound of children laughing reached her ears. She followed the sound and found herself standing in front of her grandparents' house. The same porch, the same worn steps leading inside. But as she stepped toward the door, she noticed something she hadn't seen before, a small door hidden beneath the porch, almost invisible unless you were looking for it. It was as though it had been there all along, but was only now being revealed to her. She knelt down and carefully pulled the door open. The hinges creaked, but it revealed a narrow staircase leading downward into the darkness. With a sense of both dread and curiosity, Emma descended the steps. The air grew cooler as she moved deeper into the hidden space. At the bottom, she found a small room, dimly lit by a single hanging light. In the center of the room was a dusty chest, locked tightly. The key, Emma realized, must have been with her all along. Emma's hands shook as she searched her pockets. There, buried at the bottom, was the small key, the one that had appeared in the mirror earlier. It felt warm to the touch, as though it had been waiting for this moment. She inserted the key into the chest lock, and it clicked open. Inside, she found a stack of old, yellowed letters tied together with string. The letters seemed to have been written long ago, their edges frayed. Emma untied the string and opened the first letter. It was written by her grandmother, but the words weren't addressed to anyone in particular. They were a jumble of thoughts, memories, and confessions. She spoke of a secret, something Emma's grandmother had never shared with her. "I didn't want you to know," the letter began, "but you have always had a special connection to this place. The lake, the house, and the mirror. I fear that you will be called one day to protect the secrets we've kept." Emma's heart pounded as she read the rest of the letter. It spoke of a guardian, someone chosen to keep the balance between the world of memories and reality. And it seemed that Emma was the next in line. As Emma read, a new realization hit her. The mirror wasn't just showing her memories, it was guiding her to uncover something much larger. She wasn't simply a seeker of lost memories. She was a guardian, chosen to protect the balance between past and present. The final letter explained everything: the mirror, the hidden room, the chest. All of it was a test, meant to prepare Emma for the responsibility she would one day have to bear. Her grandmother had been the previous guardian, and now it was Emma's turn. With trembling hands, Emma closed the chest and stood up. She knew what she had to do, but the weight of the task was overwhelming. She had always thought her life was ordinary. Now, she had to protect something much bigger than herself. She turned back toward the staircase, but as she reached the top, the air around her grew cold. The whispering from the lake had returned, louder this time, and with it, a sense of urgency. Emma rushed back to the lake, her heart racing. She felt a sense of power in the air, as if the lake itself was calling to her. When she reached the water's edge, the surface began to ripple again, glowing softly. The image of the man from the meadow appeared on the water, his face clearer than before. He spoke to her, his voice calm but insistent. "Emma," he said, "the time has come. You must protect the mirror and the secrets it holds. The world needs balance, and you are its keeper." Emma nodded, her mind now clearer than ever. She understood. The mirror had shown her the truth, and now she had to protect it, just as her grandmother had before her. With newfound strength, Emma stepped forward into the shimmering water. As she did, the world around her seemed to fall away, leaving only the lake, the whispers, and the promise of what lay ahead.